Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Liles, and today during this presentation, I'm going to be going over my experience this summer as the Knowledge Management and Technical Writing intern for the company PSCU. So for the agenda today, we're going to go over the introduction, just a little bit about me and how I got this internship. We're going to go over the internship itself, the work I do, and what is expected of me, some specific work products that I've produced thus far, and reflections about my work experience overall. So a little bit about me. Again, I am the KM and technical writing intern this summer at PSCU. There is only one intern in the knowledge management team, and that is me. I have my Bachelor of Science from UNT in technical communication. I'm also a grad track student, so I am currently on track to get my master's degree in techcomm as well by next May. Some of my interests include technical writing. I love information science, information architecture. I also really love user experience, and just recently I've really gotten into project management and some architecture and analysis things. So securing the internship, I started really early this year. I started my search around September, and there were plenty of jobs open by then. I was checking LinkedIn nearly every day, and I was definitely turned on notifications for Dr. Kim's postings. She posts nearly every day when summer internships are open. I only applied to internships I was really truly interested in. I think my first internship, I was really just looking for anything. This time around, I really wanted something specifically in technical writing. I got rejected a lot, and I saw rejection as redirection. I kept a very healthy and positive mindset, and at the same time, I really stayed confident in my skills, my education, and the classes I've taken to get me here. Another best practice is I really updated my portfolio very, very often. I truly recommend having a portfolio and having a really nice resume ready. And then by February, I had received my offer from PSCU. So the internship itself, PSCU is headquartered out of St. Pete, Florida, and I work remotely because of that. They are the nation's premier payments credit union service organization. So we support the success of credit unions all over the country. So here are some of our values that we hold very close to us: service excellence, diversity, trust, leadership, innovation, and passion. So about the knowledge management team. We have two teams within the knowledge management team, and we work very closely together. They are technical writing and knowledge integration. So with technical writing, our main focus is to write and convey very critical knowledge assets into a very consumable and sustainable format that can be easily integrated into multiple knowledge resource libraries and maintained throughout teams all across the company. So that includes really improving existing technical writing comprehension between teams, as well as templating and standardizing the way knowledge is captured and stored. We also have knowledge integration. So this is us partnering with a lot of stakeholder internal groups and architecting these knowledge resource libraries, these knowledge bases. A lot of this is UX stuff and information science things. And this is really sanitizing and recertifying existing company knowledge to prepare as we move to a new enterprise knowledge management system. So my mentors, we have about four. The first one is Tom Olney. He is the Vice President of Organizational Development. My main supervisor, Liz Jasper, she is the Manager of Knowledge Management. Lisa Farragut, she is the Knowledge Management Architect, and Carly Daniel, the Technical Writer. So my responsibilities, I came in to this internship with one main project, and that was to develop the necessary technical documentation for the knowledge-centered service rollout for the entire company. So while that is my main project, I also have some other responsibilities I'll go over pretty briefly. I collaborate a lot with different teams and SMEs regularly to validate the accuracy of this documentation. I also do some informational interviews and talk to all kinds of people in the company. I shadow a lot. I join a lot of meetings when it comes to architecting and building out new knowledge bases. I also work with varying departments with Carly, the technical writer, to identify documentation gaps, help them write, help them edit, as well as migrate content into ServiceNow. Some other things on the side include self-regulated learning. We have an intern cohort and we get together a lot and participate in training and professional and personal development workshops and sessions. So moving on to a few best practices and things we use. As far as work, it is very structured. I meet weekly with my mentors. I meet bi-weekly with my supervisor. I do a lot of thorough note taking. We all use collaborative project management tools. There is a lot of support within this internship whereas, some other internships, you might not feel as supported being remotely, but I really do try and talk to my interns and my mentors and my coworkers on a daily basis. Personal practices, my number one goal is to really build relationships and be honest about my progress and what I want to learn. I've been told to take risks. We're interns. This is kind of like a trial run of a career. So really challenging myself and taking initiative is what has been my goal this summer. So some of the tools we use are mainly going to be ServiceNow and SharePoint and Monday.com. ServiceNow is a knowledge management enterprise system that PSCU is migrating to, which is the project I'm helping with, and we are moving content from SharePoint. So that is another system we are also in. Monday.com is a fantastic tool for team-wide project management. It is fantastic, and I will show you a little bit later what that looks like. So some of these specific work products. So that first project that I've been working on, the knowledge-centered service documentation. So the goal of this assignment is to create documentation to support this rollout. So this is specifically for a lot of different stakeholders throughout the company. These documents are going to live in a very specific knowledge base in ServiceNow. And by the end of my internship, we will have kind of a pilot of what that library, that knowledge base is going to look like. And we're going to have all of those documents ready to go in there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've been working on as far as that. So this is the Monday board where we have a lot of different tabs here. I'll just quickly go over a few things that I've made. So this was one of the documents. These are elevator pitches, and I wrote these very short elevator pitches for a few different audiences here regarding KCS and why it matters. I've also been helping Lisa work on several different PowerPoints for several different audiences. So really repurposing this information to fit what they care about. So this is a slide deck that I helped really design. And some of these documents are kind of in the drafting phase right now. We're going to make an FAQ document that's going to be in ServiceNow. So this is kind of some of the questions that we are going to have on this FAQ document that's going to be more fleshed out and designed in ServiceNow. Something on the back end I made was a communication matrix. Again, this is kind of in its rough draft stage. And as we start rolling things out, this will be in use more. So going into ServiceNow, this is an example document that I made in the testing environment. And this is kind of what the end user view is going to look like when my documentation is in ServiceNow. And as you can see, this is also ServiceNow, and we created a KCS article category, and this is the template that all internal users are going to use when writing a new KCS article. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. And let's go to the next slide. So this is another project that I have finished. This is the Intern Philanthropy Campaign project. So every summer, the interns of PSCU participate in a philanthropy campaign, and it's kind of like a raffle, and anyone who's affiliated with the company gets a chance to win prizes in support of chosen charities. So this year, I was the project manager of my intern cohort. So my goal was a lot of project management things. I was working with team leads and my fellow interns, as well as the events and planning department of PSCU. So let's take a look at some of the products that I made here. We had an Excel sheet, and here are kind of the teams we made. I laid out the responsibilities of each team. I also worked with a few different teams to come up with this project plan. We have our raffle prizes budget, and this is kind of an example of what the end user view will look like on the communication. Oh, my bad. This is what the communication is going to look like when it's done. This is an example of last year's. And then also the charities here as well. So that is something cool that I was lucky to be a part of and manage. So reflections about the internship. Lessons learned. I've learned a lot about knowledge management as far as what it's going to be as a career, as well as tools and practices that KM professionals use. I learned a lot about what technical writing looks like in this space, not only within this team and PSCU, but what it looks like in ServiceNow and what it means to write a knowledge article. Again, I learned a lot about the credit union industry and banking and financial services. I learned how learning and knowledge management align so closely. I also learned a lot of practical concepts about knowledge-based tools and how UX-driven design is very tightly knit in that, and how usability plays so much into the life cycle of all things knowledge, from infrastructure to end user resources. UNT courses that really have helped me with this internship are going to be in bold here. So that very first class, professional technical communication, visual technical communication, topics in technical communication, digital media, editing technical documents, principles of technical communication, as well as some other ones that weren't in TechComm, but these are more information science based. So information architecture in the College of Information. I took some of these as electives. I loved these courses, as well as intro to metadata and project management. I really recommend any class with project management. I think no matter what major you're in, you could benefit from that. And lastly, challenges. I don't have many. I've had such a good experience so far. This internship has been very supportive and extremely organized, and definitely very happy here this summer. So two challenges is understanding PSCU specific and credit union industry business jargon and context. So when I join a lot of these meetings, I'm still trying to translate what all of these acronyms and abbreviations and words mean sometimes. Also learning new processes, standards, and systems only in a matter of 3 months. It can be challenging, you know, you're thrown into the fire. So I think that's just part of being an intern, and I do love the challenge, I have to say. All right, thank you so much. That is the end of this presentation. I hope you found it helpful. Hope you took away something. This is a fantastic company to work for. So if this job is open next year and you're interested in technical writing or anything having to do with information science, I highly recommend this internship. Thank you so much.